Grandpa and I liked the tape you sent us last Christmas. We liked it so well that we decided to try to make one for you. We're in sunny Arizona where most days are very beautiful. It does get very cool at night. Sometimes Grandpa has to cover our outdoor plants so that they won't freeze. We came down the middle of October and we've been kept pretty busy since we've been here. We had been here only a week when my older sister from Minnesota came down to spend almost 2 weeks with us. She came to help my brother Don and his wife celebrate their golden wedding anniversary. It was quite an occasion with 5 of my brothers and 1 sister in attendance. We really missed not having any family around for Thanksgiving. Most of our friends and relatives were out of town. So Grandpa and I went to Bisbee, Arizona, which is about 150 miles from Tucson. Bisbee became famous during the mining rush of the 1880s. It was founded after the discovery of the Copper Queen lode, producing more than $2 billion in copper, gold, silver, lead, and zinc. Bisbee is built in the bottom of a mountain pass and it grew up the sides of a ravine. A walk around the town is exhausting but extremely interesting. We stayed at the Copper Queen Hotel, which has been there since 1902. It was a delightful experience and dining was elegant. The next day we drove a bit further south to Douglas, where there's another grand old hotel with marble staircase and copper pillars. We had our Thanksgiving dinner there. So even though our Thanksgiving was lonely, we had a really nice time. We also sort of adopted a family of 4 here in Tucson who needed to be thought of for Thanksgiving, and we bought a Thanksgiving dinner for them. We're not certain yet if we'll be having company for Christmas. However, we received a letter today, and Dwayne and Sandy and Liz will be arriving around the 28th. We're anxious to have them here. In Tucson, people even decorate cactus and citrus trees with Christmas lights. Everything is very pretty in spite of the fact that there is no snow. Everybody gets into the spirit of Christmas, and we're looking forward to a blessed Christmas after all. We thought you were such a good singer last Christmas, Ryan. Are you going to be in a program again this year? Is Kyle old enough to join in too? Maybe before we're through with this tape, Grandpa and I will do some singing. I know Grandpa has a favorite song, and I'm sure he has a lot to tell you, so I'm going to sign off for now. I love you all. Here's Grandpa.
Hi, this is Papa Sharp speaking. If I sound kind of corny, think nothing of it. Ryan and Kyle, I am going to tell you a little story about Christmas when I was about your age or a little older. We lived on a farm about 2 miles from town and also 2 miles from our church. And that was before there were hardly any cars. So when we went to town for groceries and things, we went by horse and buggy or wagon and sled in the winter times with the horses. But we also had a cutter that was smaller than a sleigh with a nice soft seat in it, but it only held 2 people. The horses we had, the names were Bill and Nell. So on Christmas Eve, my dad would hitch up the 2 horses on the big sled and put some hay in the bottom to sit on, and of course we usually had some hay bells on the horses, so it sounded real pretty. And later that night I would slip out in the barn and give the horses some extra bedding, straw, and give them some hay and oats. We always had plenty to eat on the farm, even with 9 of us kids, Mother and Dad grandma, and for a while a hired man. That's like 13 around the table for each meal. You have to forgive me, I'm reading this off of some scribbling I did. I guess that's why my arms got so long reaching over to the soup kettle in the middle of the table. We ate lots of chicken and dumpling and noodle soup. We would butcher some hogs and beef and get together with some relatives to make sausage and fry down meat, but that good old homemade sausage and ham that we hung in the smokehouse. That was so good. We used to sneak in there once in a while and cut off a piece of sausage to sample it. Well, so much for the eating. When I was 8 years old, we got our first car. What a day to remember. Brand new Model T Ford with cloth top and 3 little windows in the back. Curtain outside of it. The rest of it was open air. We had the first self-starter that came out in the 1919 Model T Ford. $825, a lot of money in those days. When I was 12 years old, I got farmed out to my cousin's farm in Arlington, Minnesota. Got my board and room, helped with the chores and so on. The school was only about a block from the house. My cousin's name was Otto Sharp. His folks lived only a little ways through the woods from our farm. And so time marches on. At 14, I went to work for one of our neighbors for $30 a month. We would get up about 5 in the morning, milk the cows, feed the cows and horses, and then we would harness the horses, get them ready to do some field work. So by the time we got breakfast, it was about 9 o'clock. We had a half a day's work. And then we would work in the field until about 5 or 6 and milk the cows again. Believe it or not, we were through for the day about 8 in the evening. Well, that's all the history for now. I will try to carry on from here at a later date. So now B and I will sing you a song, at least we will try, and then read you a message about old age. Here goes, ready or not. You all might want to put cotton in your ears. Thank you for listening and have a blessed holiday. We love you all, Papa, and be sharp. If I have wounded any soul today, if I have caused one foot to go astray, if I have walked in mine own willful way, dear Lord, forgive. If I have uttered idle words or vain, if I have turned aside from want or pain, lest I myself should suffer through the strain, dear Lord, forgive. If I have been through thirst or hard or cold, if I have longed for shelter in thy fold, when thou hast given me some fort to hold, dear Lord, thee. Forgive the secret sins I do not see. Oh, guide me, love me, and my keeper be. Amen. Why don't they answer? Here's a little Deutsch song. All that I know, all that we know. Du legst mir im Herzen, du legst mir im Sinn. Du machst mir viel Schmerzen, weiß nicht wie gut ich dir bin. Ja, weiß nicht wie gut ich dir bin. Amen. Here's a profile of a senior citizen.
Who is a senior citizen? What is one?
A senior is one who was here before the pill and the population explosion. We were here before television, penicillin, polio shots, antibiotics, and frisbees. Before frozen food, nylon, Dacron, Xerox, Kinsey, radar, fluorescent lights, credit cards, ballpoint pens. For us, time sharing meant togetherness, not computers. A chip meant a piece of wood. Hardware meant hardware, and software wasn't even a word. Co-eds never wore slacks. We were before pantyhose, drip dry clothes, before ice makers and dishwashers, clothes dryers, freezers, and electric blankets. Before Hawaii and Alaska became states, before men wore long hair and earrings and women wore tuxedos.
We were before Leonard Bernstein, yogurt, Ann Landers, plastic, the 40-hour week, and minimum wage. We got married first and then lived together. How quaint can one be?
Closets were for clothes, not for coming out of. Bunnies were for small rabbits, and rabbits were not Volkswagens. We were before Grandma Moses and Frank Sinatra and cup sizing for bras. Girls wore Peter Pan collars and thought cleavage was something butchers did. We were before Batman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Snoopy. Before DDT, vitamin pills, disposable diet, QE1 Jeeps, the Jefferson Memorial, and pizza. Cheerios, instant coffee, decaffeinated anything, and McDonald's were all unheard of. We thought fast food was what you ate during Lent. We were before Boy George, J.D. Salinger, and Chiquita Banana. Before FM radios, tape recorders, electric typewriters, word processors, music, electronic music, disco dancing, and that's not all bad.
In our days, cigarette smoking was fashionable, grass for mowing. Grass was for mowing. Coke was refreshing drink, and pot was something you cooked in. If we had been asked to explain CIO, MS, NATO, UFO, JFK, ERA, or IUD, we'd have said alphabet soup. We are today's senior citizens, a hardy bunch when you think of how our world has changed and of the adjustments we have had to make. We're going to close for now, and we want to wish Grandma and Grandpa Linville and Uncles Ross and Todd and everybody in the Michelson family a Merry Christmas.
And here goes a little what?
Greeting.
And that will be all you get at this time. Why don't you answer?
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.